Imagine living in a land where every road was ruled by fear, where mothers kept their children indoors, where farmers watched enemies steal the food they had worked months to grow. Then, from nowhere, no famous warrior, no king, no army, just one ordinary farmer carrying an ox goad, a simple farming tool. And before the day was over, 600 enemy soldiers lay defeated. His name was Shamgar, yet most people have never heard his story. Tonight, we're uncovering the forgotten hero who proved that God doesn't need perfect people, only willing ones. But before we begin, if you love inspiring Bible stories that bring scripture to life, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and tell us in the comments. God can use anyone. Now, let's travel back nearly 3,000 years. The land of Israel should have been peaceful. Instead, it was filled with terror. The Philistines controlled the roads. Travelers disappeared. Villages locked their gates before sunset. Farmers harvested crops only to watch enemy raiders steal them. Children grew up knowing fear more than freedom. The people cried out to God again, because Israel had wandered away from him. Throughout history, this painful cycle repeated itself. The people sinned. Enemies invaded. The people repented. God raised a deliverer, one judge after another, some famous, others nearly forgotten. And then there was Shamgar. No royal blood, no palace, no military rank, just an ordinary man. The Bible gives us only one sentence. One sentence. Yet inside those few words lies an incredible story. Shamgar, son of Anath. His father may have belonged to a family influenced by Canaanite culture. His name itself sounds unusual among Israelites. Perhaps people underestimated him. Perhaps they questioned where he came from. But God never judges people the way humans do. He looks at the heart. Shamgar likely spent his days working fields, leading oxen, preparing soil, growing food. He wasn't training for battle. He wasn't dreaming of becoming a hero. He was simply faithful with today's work. What exactly was an ox goad? Imagine a wooden staff nearly 8 feet long, one end sharpened into a spear-like point, the other fitted with a metal scraper used for cleaning the plow. It wasn't made for war. It was made for farming. Yet in God's hands, ordinary tools become extraordinary weapons. History has shown this again and again. A shepherd's staff, a sling and stone, a widow's jar of oil, 5 loaves, 2 fish, and now, an ox goad. It probably began like every other raid. Philistine soldiers marched confidently. Their armor gleamed. Their swords flashed in the sunlight. Villagers ran. Children screamed. Livestock scattered. Everyone expected another defeat. Except one man. Shamgar stood his ground. Not because he believed in himself, because he believed in the God of Israel. No one knows exactly how long the battle lasted. Minutes? Hours? But scripture records something astonishing. 600 Philistines fell before one man. Every strike reminded Israel, victory belongs to God. The enemy had superior weapons, superior numbers, superior training. Yet none of that mattered. Faith changed everything. When the fighting ended, silence covered the battlefield. The Philistines fled. Israel breathed again. Families reopened their homes. Farmers returned to their fields. Children laughed once more. One faithful man changed an entire nation, not because of his strength, because of God's power working through ordinary obedience. Many people believe they cannot make a difference. I'm not talented. I'm not educated. I'm not important. Shamgar's life answers every excuse. God can use your workplace, your ordinary skills, your everyday life. He isn't searching for celebrities. He's searching for willing hearts. What is your ox goad? What ordinary gift has God already placed in your hands? Perhaps the miracle begins there. The Bible gives Shamgar only one verse. Yet that single verse has inspired millions. History remembers kings. God remembers faithfulness. When heaven writes your story, it won't measure how famous you became. It will measure how faithfully you trusted him. Shamgar reminds us, Never underestimate what God can do through one willing person. Perhaps the next forgotten hero is you.